Welcome to the Strong Youth Project, where our mission is to improve organized sport experiences for youth, parents, coaches, and other mentors via education and evidence-based practice.
Dr. Larson. This guy's my guy. What's your name, blonde hair? Sawyer. Sawyer's my guy. We're gonna call him Sawyer a couple times today. So if we're giving standing ovations before we even start, this is my kind of guy. I like him. No, thank you to Nate and to Matt for everyone for inviting me here. So you guys heard about the Google form. This QR code's going to be here now and again at the end. So if you want to get on the Google form really quick, that'd be great. So you can put in some questions as we're going, and then we'll also have it on the last slide when we're done. But you guys, I think I have the coolest job in the world. So tomorrow, I get to testify in a death row hearing on the mental capacity of this individual who's committed or allegedly committed 2 murders. Okay? So we get to look at his brain health, see how well his brain's doing, and see if the multiple brain injuries he's had contributed to him allegedly committing these crimes. Then I get to go meet with several players on the BYU basketball team after and talk to them about their mental performance. Does that sound like a cool job? Yeah. Sawyer, what do you think, bro? You ready for this? Yeah? No, it's a great job. I love working with the basketball team. And then on Thursday, we're actually flying out to Kentucky to consult with some of the Kentucky coaches. So it's just a cool job. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot you can do in mental performance. So jumping in, have you guys ever heard of the Ironman triathlons? Yeah? Okay, tell me about Ironman triathlon. Drink shirt. Yeah, you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. How many of you ever run a marathon before? Okay, we got one marathon guy. How did you feel after your marathon? Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, you feel amazing after the marathon, right? How would you feel if by chance you had done a 2.4 mile swim before it and a 112 mile bike ride and then run your marathon? Yeah, amazing. So Ironman triathlon is one of the most grueling sports that exists. It is incredibly hard, and I'm going to show you the effects of this. So we're going to do that first video. But this is the Ironman triathlon race from 1997. So the video is old school. It's not even HD. It's like watching Blur. That's all right. Yeah, no problem. So watch these 2 women as they finish the triathlon and think in your minds what they were going through mentally as you watch what happens to their bodies physically. Go for it.
Sean Welch is in a desperate spot. Her body has run out of fuel. No
These are the
calories
2
to burn.
winners of the women's track.
Systems shutting down. The legs are there, you just can't feel them. The eyes still see, but through a gauzy veil of delirium. At this point, Sean Welch is aware of 2 things. The finish line is so close, and someone is so close behind. After more than 140 miles, it's come down to less than 100 feet to that damn line. Just yards behind, her stalker appears. It's Wendy Ingram.
You got nothing left, right? The body can't do it. Okay, you can stop. So Sawyer, you just biked 112 miles, swam 2.4, and ran 26.2. What's going through your mind right there? Could you do it? Probably not? You don't think you're mentally strong enough? No? It'd be challenging. Sawyer, what's the guy in the hoodies next to you? What's his name? Riker, my guy. What will be going through your head? Yeah, right here. You're at the finish line. You're 100 feet away and your body's done. Yeah. That's a major accomplishment, right? Pretty cool, Chelly? Yeah. You've given everything you have, right? So mental strength isn't something that most of us just naturally have. Right? Dave Scott is the American men's record holder. He's the only person to not only win multiple Ironman competitions, he's won 6. Okay? His accomplishments are crazy. Dave Scott said, "I have an ability to concentrate on the task at hand. I just don't think some contestants out there have developed the ability to concentrate on the race." The ability to have the mental control and the mental strength to finish it. So Dave gets asked all the time, "Dave, how did you win 6 Ironmans? How did you do it?" And he often, all he do is he just point to his head. "I'm mentally stronger than the other people." It's not about the physical. It's about the mental. Mark Pope, BYU's former basketball coach, current coach at Kentucky, he's a guy we've worked really closely with, but he frequently says the thing that sets apart athletes in the NBA from athletes, there are hundreds of good collegiate players, but the ones that make the NBA aren't the ones with the most physical talent. Let me say that again. The people who make the NBA are not the ones with the most physical talent. They are the ones with the mental strength who can persevere in order to play their best when the pressure is highest. Okay? So mental strength is a huge part of all sports. That's why y'all are here, right? So we're going to hit on 4 themes today, but we have a ton of other stuff that we work with athletes on. First thing we're going to hit on today is the relationship between your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. I love what Nate talked about the difference between the band parents and the parents at the soccer game. Right? We're going to hit that and how those thoughts, feelings, and behaviors interact. We're going to talk about how we create room for different thought patterns, how you all as athletes can use that to free yourselves during competition. Okay? We're going to talk about thought patterns that can build up resilience, and then we're going to finalize it with controlling the parts of performance that we can control. Not worrying about the coaches, not worrying about the parents. We got to do what the coach asks. Nate would fire me if I said otherwise, right? But we got to learn how to control the parts we can control. So let's start with that relationship between our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. Okay? So when we're talking about our thoughts, Sawyer, when you walked in today, you didn't think I was going to call on you all day, right? How do you feel now that I'm calling on you frequently? Awesome. Good. Are you paying more attention than you might have otherwise? Yeah? Why?
Because I might get called on.
Yeah. Right? So you have a thought going through your mind that, hey, this guy now knows my name, right? He thinks that I'm listening, so I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Right? So is there a relationship then between your thoughts and your behaviors? Yeah, you're behaving different because of the way you're thinking. True? Okay. How do you feel knowing that I'm going to call on you frequently today?
Awesome.
Yeah? Okay. So you feel good about it. How do you think your boy Chelly feels?
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed? Are you embarrassed, Shelly? No? Okay, so what's your thought pattern when I'm calling you guys? Yeah. Just chill? Yeah? See? Yeah, it's pretty normal. Yeah, some people react differently to these things. So we have a situation, right? The other day, the team I coach, we were down. How many were we down by? Down by 2? Down by 1. Yeah, we were down by 1. This is my son Damon, by the way. We were down by 1. They come driving down the court. Tate, our point guard, dishes it out. Guy's covered. He dishes to another guy. He shoots. In this case, it went in. Right? So how do you think he felt after the ball went in? Yeah, he's elated. Everyone's jumping up and down. They're super excited. But what if that ball had gone out? Okay, so this situation, that's tough, right? The first thing he could have done is he could have said, you know what? I stink. I always miss. Next time the game-winning shot comes in, what do you think he'd do? Miss. Pass. Right? He'd pass it up. Do you know who has missed the most game-winning shots in NBA history? Incorrect, but close. Michael Jordan's number 2. Michael Jordan's actually number 3. LeBron's number 2. Kobe. Kobe Bryant has missed more game-winning shots than any other player in the NBA. Okay? That's what Kobe has also done. Yeah, he's made the most game-winning shots, and he's taken the most game-winning shots. So if Kobe's thought pattern was, I stink, I always miss, that's going to influence his behaviors, yes? We all agree on that? Yeah. Okay. So then how's he going to feel? Let's go for some underestimation here. He's going to feel sad. Right? But what if he shot that game-winning shot and he said, you know, that was tough, I missed it. I'm going to hit the gym tomorrow and I'm going to work harder. Right? Changes the thought pattern. I'm glad I took that risk. He's going to feel relieved. He's going to feel resilient. Right? And he's going to work harder at it. Dallin Hall plays for BYU basketball. The first year I was working with the team, he had a game-winning shot attempt against Montana. Easy layup. Anyone remember what happened with that layup? Missed it. Okay. That's incorrect. He missed the one against Utah. He made the one against Montana. Right? Dude was pumped. Then he had the next game-winning shot against Utah. Took it. Missed it. Is Dallin Hall afraid to take game-winning shots now? Right? Depends on the game, right? But he has the mental resilience to keep doing it, right? Because he's not letting those thoughts get in the way. So it's not so much the behaviors that we have, it's more how we think about the behaviors. Okay? So I want y'all to do a little exercise here for a second. I was working with a player earlier today. He changed coaches, basketball coaches, and he was saying to me, you know what, this coach is always talking bad to me. He's giving me ultimatums. He's saying if I don't make 2 3-pointers a game, he's going to go on the bench. And parents, how do we feel about this? Is this the way we should be talking to our kids? No, super outcome focused, right? We don't want to be focused on those outcomes. But he's giving him ultimatums. He's saying, I don't know what to do. So I'm saying, let's flip that on its head, because we can't change the coach's behavior, but we can change your behavior. Let's change how you perceive it. Is that coach trying to make him play worse? No. What's he trying to do, Woody? Yeah, he's trying to give him a goal to work toward, right? Maybe not the best way, but if we can change the lens, the guy I was working with, he was getting frustrated. He was getting tight because he needed to do 2 3-pointers a game, right? But instead we say, your coach is trying to challenge you. Your coach is trying to make you better, right? So how does that change his behaviors? Yeah. So we just had to reframe how he was thinking. Okay? So this is just setting up the premise for the rest of the talk. But are we all on board that your thoughts influence your feelings and your feelings influence your behaviors? Anyone disagree with that? Okay? So my guy who thought he had to make 2 3-pointers a game, how do you think he's been shooting the last few games when his coach has been giving him this ultimatum? Not super well, right? He's tight. I said, how are you missing your shots? Do you think you missed them short or missed them long? Short. Consistently missing short. Why? Yeah, because he's not following through. He's tight. He's worried, right? If I don't make 2 of these, I'm going to have to sit. So your thoughts influence your behaviors. Steph Curry said this is all the mental warfare you go through. Speak positivity to yourself. Change that thought pattern, because that's going to change your emotions and subsequently how you play. Okay? Really what it boils down to here is fear-based thinking versus confidence-based thinking. We talk about it as approach, which is confidence-based, versus avoid, which is fear-based. Okay? So if my guy's coming in and he's focusing on what he doesn't want to happen, I don't want to be embarrassed, I don't want to miss, how do you think he's going to behave? Loose? Free? Playing on autopilot? No? What do you think, Dad? How's he going to play? He's going to play tough. Nervous the whole time, right? Because he doesn't want to give something up. This is one of the main things we work on with athletes. You are not protecting anything, right? You are playing to go out. You're not avoiding, right? Rather, you are approaching. You are playing with a confidence-based mindset because you want to focus on what you want. I want the ball. And if I miss it, I'll practice to improve at it. I will get better at it. Okay? We're not fearing, we're approaching. Not playing to not lose, we're playing to win, right? We're playing to approach, okay? So let's create room for different thought patterns. Let's avoid this idea that the outcome is what matters. We want to focus on the process for how we're getting there, okay? So we're going to try a little exercise here. I want you to avoid something for a second. So your brain doesn't really hear the word not. It doesn't really hear the word don't very well. Okay, y'all ready for this? Sawyer, I want to hear your response. Okay, pay attention. Imagine yourself running or playing a sport we love. How many soccer players do we have? Oh, quite a few. How many track and field people? Awesome, love our track and field. How many football players? Oh, you're going to help the entire team. You're the lone football player. Way to go. Okay, imagine yourself running or playing a sport you love. Now, while you're thinking about it, don't think about tripping or falling. Sawyer, my guy, what did you think? Did you actually visually see yourself tripping? Yeah. So what was it like? You're running and what happened? You just fell. Because your brain doesn't hear the word don't. Your brain doesn't hear the word not. In fact, your brain tends to focus on the main action word in the sentence. So if the action word is fall, even if it's saying don't fall, what's your brain going to do? Fall. I ran track. We were in the state championship. We were predicted to win the 4x400. I was the third leg. Our first leg was slow. You ran a 56. You normally ran a 52 or 51. Okay? Guess the third leg, we're catching up. I was running my best race of my life. I go to the end, and we had to hand the baton off. And I said, as I'm rounding the corner, about to hand the baton off, what do you think I said? Don't drop it. Guess what I did? Tripped, fell, dropped it. Our team was disqualified. I've lived with that. You know how, like, what's his name, Uncle Rico? Man, if I just wouldn't have not thought, don't drop it, we would have taken state. Right? To this day, I believe we would have taken state had I known this information. So what should we do? Should we say, don't do stuff? No. What should we do with our action words? Okay? We want to visualize what we want. Okay? We want to visualize staying balanced. We want to visualize running with clarity. We want simple things. The staying balanced example is literally from that player I was working with today. He's been in a shooting slump. His coach is giving him ultimatums. Said, hey, we're going to focus on one thing, one approach target. He said, I want to stay balanced. I said, great. What's his cue now when he's shooting three-pointers? Balance. On balance. He's planting his feet. He's on balance. Is he worried about anything else beside balance? No. He's not saying don't miss. He's not saying don't mess up. He's saying balance, right? Approaching that action word. So how can you all apply this? Spanish Court Baseball, white hat. How can you apply this? Yep. He like settled in. He's like,
How can we visualize this?
Yeah.
Just constantly in practice, telling our guys what we want from them, what we expect, what we put them in game situations as much as we can.
yeah. You've never seen a coach change quite like Mark Coach changed with this principle. He used to tell his guys what not to do all the time. He said, hey, here's your first intervention. Simplest thing you're going to do is you're going to start telling your guys what to do. Man, they loosened up quick, right? It changes the ballgame. So coaches, parents, avoid, right, the nots. Avoid the don'ts. Give your players actionable things to do because your brain doesn't hear different. Okay? Now, if you're having some negative thoughts on the field, you're having some negative thoughts on the track, okay? I want you to get rid of all negative thoughts. So everyone, take a moment really quickly and stop thinking any negative thoughts. Ready, set, go. Did it work? Did you stop thinking all the negative thoughts? Yes? Well done. Do you have any negative thoughts in your mind at all? Not a single one. Good job. I'm impressed. It's hard to stop because when we say don't think negative thoughts, what's our action word? Thinking negative thoughts, right? So we don't care. We're all going to get nervous. My son and I were talking on the way down. He said, Dad, are you nervous? What did I say? And then I do this a lot. I do this for a living. It's fine. But what did I say? When do I get nervous? I said when I coach your basketball games. My son is 12. He's a good ball player, but when I coach his games, I get nervous. So I want him to perform well. I want him to win. I want to make sure I don't mess up. So how should I be flipping that on its head? Right? Give them things to do. Be positive. Be proactive. But it's okay to be nervous. Right? We don't want to remove that. We just want to change our relationship with it. So the relationship, we aren't trying to stop negative thoughts. We aren't trying to stop nerves. They're normal. They happen because we care. In fact, if you weren't nervous, if you didn't care at all, I'd be a little worried about you. Right? We care about this stuff. It's a good thing. Agreed? Yeah. Okay? So what should we do instead? Let's observe. Let's change our relationship with your thoughts. Instead of stop fighting them or trying to control them, let's treat thoughts like clouds. Thoughts, they come and go. Missed shots? You name some? Do we miss some? Yeah. They come and go. Do you guys know what? We did a big statistical analysis on all of BYU's shots from last year. Here's what we found. The previous shot does not predict the next shot. Let me say that again. Statistically, the previous shot does not predict the next shot. Not only have we done this analysis, many people have. Okay? What does that mean as far as shooters go? Yeah. If you missed a shot, does it change how your next shot should be shot? No, because the previous shot doesn't affect the next one. How does that influence track and field? You lose a race? What does that mean about the next one? We're just going to go out and race it, right? We're going to change that relationship with our thoughts. So observing those thoughts creates room for more helpful thoughts. Let's talk about Kobe Bryant. Kobe says it's okay to fail. How often did Kobe fail? Lots. More, if you talk game-winning shots, more than any other player in the NBA. Because you're going to be loved no matter what, and this is the plug to the parents, I try and be still and understand that things come and go. Right? Okay, we got a second. Let's watch video number 2. This is Kobe talking on his relationship with his thoughts. And then parents in particular, listen to how he responds to his kids.
The basketball stuff speaks for itself in terms of what that comment did for me, in terms of giving me stability and giving me confidence to say, okay, it's okay to fail because you're going to be loved no matter what. And that doesn't just mean basketball. That means anything on there. That means writing. That means being an entrepreneur. That means having the confidence to go for it. And I've seen too many parents do the exact opposite. And it terrifies children. And children become paralyzed by their own fear because they don't have that security blanket of love and comfort. What I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. You know, a lot of times I've seen players, even myself, you know, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in a situation right now. And it does nothing but grow, versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. But what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course. You think about game-winning shots or game-winning free throws. And people go to the free throw line and they're nervous about it. Well, what are you really nervous about? If you unpack that, okay, you're nervous that you're going to miss the shot. All right, so you missed the shot, then what happens? People are going to be embarrassed. You're going to be embarrassed because thousands of people, millions of people see you miss the shot. All right, and then what? People are going to talk bad about you. Okay, right? So you look at it and go, are those things even important? You know what I mean? If that is my fear, like what is, you worried about letting your teammates down? Okay, have you let them down before? Well, I'm sure, in practice and things of that nature, right? They're still there, you know? And so when you're able to unpack it, you kind of look at it for what it is, which is really, don't hide from it. You know, you got to be able to look at it and, you know, and deal with it head on.
Stop. He said we got to be able to look at it and deal with it head on. The emotions, they come and go, right? The feelings, they come and go. We can experience all of them, and it's okay. If we miss the game-winning shot, is it okay? Are our parents still going to be there the next day? Are our teammates still going to be there the next day? I hope so. Right? So we come at it from a place of being confident, believing that the next shot's going to fall, believing that the people around us, that support network, our coaches, our coaching staff, our parents, our loved ones, they're still going to be there for us so that we know we can take that next shot, right? Or we can run that next race or throw that next pitch. Or whatever soccer players do. Run and kick. I'm teasing. Okay, there are thought patterns that can build resilience, all right? So a lot of times we think, oh, I won't make it, or I need to pass it, I need to do this. We get caught in this cycle of shoulds and musts. This is what I should be doing, this is what I must be doing. That is for practice. When we're practicing, we need to be getting the technical aspects of our craft down and doing our best to become excellent in practice. In games, are we thinking that way? Are we thinking in shoulds and musts? No, sir. In the game, it's time for autopilot. Right? We want to be an autopilot executing those things to free our mind, right? So rather than saying, I'm not going to make it, we need to think, is this thought helpful? Is it helpful for me to think, hey, I don't know what I'm going to do? Or, hey, I got to get in there. I need to win this game. Or I got to make this shot. Or I have to perform at a certain level or someone's going to be disappointed. Is that a helpful thought pattern? Or is there something we can do that would be more helpful, right? That can help us in that moment. So three simple ones that we can do when in those moments we're struggling. We can challenge that appraisal, kind of like the basketball player I worked with today. We can think about, oh, I got cut, or I got put on the bench. How am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? Versus, this is a challenge, right? My coach is trying to help me improve. This is something that will make me stronger. So we challenge and we change that appraisal into something devastating, becoming something useful, right? Or we can get in a situation and we can try and find a benefit from it. I learned something good from this loss. I learned something useful from this altercation with a coach or teammate. Or this season, though it was tough, taught me how we can bring players together, right? And it's not always about putting rose-colored glasses on things. We need to be honest about the negative and the positive, right? And we don't need to sit and dwell on that negative. We want to flip that lens and find the benefits, find the thing you learned in those moments. Okay? And come at it with an optimistic mindset. Something went wrong last time, the next time I'm going to be able to hit it, right? Good things are just around the corner for me. I just need to keep working at it, okay? And then be realistic. Take the feedback from your coaches. Think, hey, this may not be my strength. I need to work on it, and I need to find somewhere else that I can keep going, right? But it's that mindset of resilience to keep working forward. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about today is controlling the parts you can control. So much of sport is outside of our control. I love track and field, I love tennis, because a lot of they're very individual, right? You have control of how you strategize your race. You have control over how you're playing. But basketball or football or baseball, you lose a little bit of that control, right? So in basketball, which is a sport I work the most in, we see athletes do one of three things. Okay? There are some situations where they have too little control. An example here is a coach not playing you or telling you to change positions. Do you have control of what's happening in that moment? Nope. Can you change it? Probably not, right? It's the coach's decision. Can you show the coach that you're willing to be coachable? Yeah. So in situations where we have too little control, we need to be accepting of what's happening. Right? We want to strive to be in situations where you have control and you're controlling what you can control. But a lot of athletes, when they feel out of control, start to control too much. In basketball, they start to over-dribble. They won't pass because they want to be in control in that moment. Okay? When we feel out of control is often when we try and take things back the most because we're feeling anxious. Does that make sense to everybody? So too little control and too much control tend to work poorly for us. So it is like an aspect or an example of too little control would be you think the coach should play you more and so you complain about it. Right? Does it do you any good to complain about this thing that's out of your control? Doesn't help, right? It just brings the team down. What could you do instead that you can control? Be coachable. Ask the coach why and work on those things, right? Find the parts you can control. Or too much control, your team's on a losing streak and there's a lot of pressure there. So you lose a bunch of sleep trying to plan for every possible outcome. Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs, who are my Chiefs guys? Oh, come on, no one likes Chiefs anymore. Only the old people like the Chiefs. There we go, we got a couple over here. Who are my Eagles guys? Okay, who doesn't care? Wow, that's a solid majority. I thought the Super Bowl was gonna bring out some caring here. Okay, but Andy Reid's really good about this. He focuses on the details, then he sleeps at night. Why can he sleep at night? Because he's prepared, he's put in the work, right? He's controlled the parts he can control. So, oftentimes you just have to, if there's something you can control, take action, go do. If you can't control it, accept that. Accept you can't change that situation and go control something you can, rather than trying to over-control or overstressed about what's happening. Control that controllable. You feel anxious before a big game. Take a moment, visualize, see your success, do your breathing, do your routine, whatever it may be. But control those parts you can control rather than letting the parts you can't control take over. What's that? Okay. And sometimes you just have to accept there are things that are out of our control, whether it's playing time or how good your opponent is, or what's happening during the game. And so you just let that accept, and then you roll with it, just like the cloud, just like Kobe Bryant, knowing people are going to be there to support you afterward. Woo! We've pushed a lot into 35 minutes. Yes? Are your brains getting slow? No? Useful? Okay. Like Dave Scott said, at the end of the day, it is mental resilience that matters. Dave was often asked how he did it. He always pointed to his head. Your physical strength matters, your physical capabilities matter, but what sets people apart is their mental strength and that mental toughness. So remember, your thoughts influence your feelings, which changes your behaviors, right? Remember, that you can create room for other thoughts by observing what's around you, okay, and remembering your action words. Don't say don't. Huh? You see what I did there? Right? Focus on the actions you can control. Okay? And that there are thoughts that can build resilience. Challenge those thoughts. See where the benefits are. Maintain that confident, optimistic outlook, and then control the parts you can control. Right? And that'll help you all become better athletes and become better coaches. It's fun. Let's go. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we have.